Hey everyone. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the importance of not comparing yourself to what others are up to not get distracted by the outside noise that is what other people are doing in their lives. This can be such an easy game to fall victim to because we as human beings are very social, and with that, we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people, even a bit unconsciously, because it's how we figure out where we stand in social hierarchies to figure out our odds of survival and that sort of thing. Although that's more applicable to when we were out in, the forest actually trying to survive, and now that we're in cities, it's not quite as useful, but it's still something that's ingrained within our psychology, because even in cities, we know that our place in social hierarchies will determine our quality of life. So we're constantly trying to see where we stand. But even with this, you'll quite often find that the best way to adapt to social hierarchies is just to not care about them, to not be concerned with them. And funny enough, quite often when that's the case, you'll end up rising within them because you just do not care what other people think of you enough to play all these stupid games, and people will respect you for just being solid and centered in who you are and not caring so much about this outside noise of constantly trying to compete in these social hierarchies. But going beyond that, it's just important to not fall victim to keeping up with the Joneses all the time. It's not helpful because we have to understand that our own journeys in life are what are important. We shouldn't be concerned with what other people are doing, especially if you want to go different places in life than where others are going. Like if you're constantly comparing yourself to people who are bankers or doctors or engineers, but you want to be an artist, why are you doing that? Like you're going a completely different route in life. Why would you be comparing yourself to people who went somewhere else? It's not helpful. Of course they're going to be making way more money than you initially because they went down routes that make a ton of money. And if you're an artist and you're not doing all that well, but you're happier in life because you're actually pursuing your passion, why should you be comparing yourself to them? I mean, even if they make more money, maybe their quality of life, maybe their happiness isn't as great as yours. So there's not really much point in comparing yourself to them and constantly trying to be aware of what they're doing and trying to keep up with them. It's just not helpful. So one of the things I actually practiced pretty early on in my adult life was I realized that since it's so easy to find yourself comparing yourself to other people by keeping track of what everyone is up to in life, I actually got into the habit of unfollowing almost everyone on Facebook. Like all the friends that I have, I would keep them as friends, but I would unfollow them so I wouldn't see their posts. And I did that with almost everyone in my life except for the people who actually I engaged with often, like my really close friends and family members. They were the only ones that I actually still follow, even to this day. Whereas nowadays, if I add a new friend who I don't really talk to all that much or see all that often, I'll often unfollow them within like a week of adding them on Facebook because I just don't want to see what they're up to. I don't want to, well, one, it sounds kind of bad, but I don't really care. If they're not in my life, I don't care what they're up to. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I just don't have the mental, whatever you want to call it, capacity to care about all these random people I have on Facebook. I only care about the ones that I actually see and interact with often. And then two, if you're constantly seeing everybody's updates on Facebook or other social media pages, that's not helpful because yet again, it'll be really easy for you to compare yourself to what they're doing. You'll see everyone who's getting married, everyone who's having children, everyone who's buying their first house. And if you're not in the same place that they are, you're going to be thinking, what am I doing with my life? But as I already stated, you could be doing everything perfectly fine for yourself, and like it doesn't matter. Like you're on the right path for you, and yet other people can be doing things that are different that you may want, but maybe the timing isn't right for you. So if you compare yourself to them and where they're at in life, it's just not helpful because you're not quite there yet. But that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you're going down a different journey than them. So we really shouldn't get caught up in this outside noise of what everyone else is up to. It just does not help us at all on our journeys. Unless you're literally doing the same path that they are and they're ahead of you on that path, then you could compare yourself and be like, okay, why are they so far ahead of me? Like, what are they doing differently that's getting them ahead? But I doubt you'll find anyone who's on the exact same path that you are in life. Like, you'd have to have so many different things going the exact same way for that to give you a comparable basis of comparison. But otherwise, there's still going to be factors that are impacting both of your lives that you can't account for. So you never get that true one-to-one comparison. So it's just not helpful to do that. Just aim to take life on your own journey and understand that you will do things on your own time in your own way. You don't need to get married by 30, have your first child by 35, and have a nice house at 32 or whatever, or start your own company by 40. You don't need to do any of that crap. Just do things on your own timeline the way that works best for you. And just try not to get caught comparing yourself to what other people are up to. Just drown out that outside noise. And you can even practice what I mentioned earlier. You can even unfollow people on social media if you find yourself constantly comparing yourself to them, because it gets rid of that basis of comparison completely. You now aren't going to know what they're up to, so there is no way to compare yourself to them. It just makes it so much easier to get through life. Otherwise, just, spend less time on social media. That would help too as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to talk about in this video. I just find that it's not helpful for us to constantly compare ourselves to people who are living different lives than us. They're on different journeys. Like, there's no point in us to look at their lives and then look at our own and be like, I'm messing up, I'm doing things wrong, they're way ahead of me, they're making more money, I'm a failure. No, that's not how things work. You're just on a different journey than them, and who the hell knows where you'll be 10 years from now, or where they'll be, because maybe they'll end up unhappy and they'll maybe have more money 10 years from now. Maybe you'll actually end up making more money than them by that point, or maybe you'll be happier than them. It doesn't matter. We can't account for any of it. We don't know. So just keep doing your own thing, because that's all you should do at the end of the day. This one life that you have to live is uniquely yours, so make sure you live it by your own terms, the way that you want to. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Truly hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm. And I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.